excited about some new technology that Jim has been working on for years. And Jim actually came to me with this maybe about 6, 8 months ago and said, "Man, you really need to look into this and check this out." Well, I got so excited about it that I actually decided just to partner up with Jim full time on this. So I'm completely pumped. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of turn it over to Jim a little bit to kind of maybe kind of set the table, and then I'll come in, maybe talk a little bit about where the market's need is at, and we'll talk about how the marketplace can take advantage of this technology, and also how you can make some money with it. So I'm going to turn it over to Jim to kind of get the ball game started. So Mr. McBride, she's all yours.
Thank you, Jeff. We want to thank everybody for being with us tonight and being, of course, part of our PEMF Pulse for Life family. We know that you have it in your heart to do all you can to help all of the people that you work with. And of course, you're always striving to find the best things in the market that's going to be most effective to help you reach out and help as many people as possible. At one point in time, we all touch the lives of young children, we all touch the lives of elderly, and we all, of course, touch the life of athletes. And no matter what the age is and what it is that we do, we all are dealing with pain, with health issues, diabetes, obesity, and so many things. So we've been working hard to put this together to bring this to you. We introduced it about June at the SoapMed conference. We did our first webinars about 3 weeks ago with just a handful of people that we invited in, and all of them, what we had in inventory were gone in a matter of just a couple of days. So we're excited to be back and sharing this now with those that we invite, especially to the webinars that we're doing. Of course, it's not our goal to bring in 1,000 people at a time, but we want to make sure that we can bring in some select people that we know have it in their hearts to reach out and be able to touch and do so much to help so many. I've known Jeff for quite a few years. Jeff's background, of course, is in the business management side of being involved in the office and practitioner environment. So he has a complete understanding of what we're doing with PMF, and he has a complete understanding with what we're doing now, trying to reach so many people with so many issues. So with that, we want to thank you for being with us. Jeff, I want to roll it back to you for a little bit, though, if you would kind of lead us into it, and then let me roll back into the science side of it.
Oh, sure. You bet, Jim. I appreciate it. First, and before I get this whole thing started, we got to do the old disclaimer that the systems that we offer are not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any particular disease. So now that we got that out of the way, let's kind of talk about why we're so excited. Jim has been involved in the health industry for years. My background is business. I used to own a bunch of franchise operations, and I got into practice management about 12, 15 years ago, got to know Jim on some health projects that we're working on, and he and I kind of hit it off really good. Jim came to me back maybe 6, 7 years ago when he first got into the PMF, and I was really interested in bringing the PMF into my clinics. But the time he came into my clinic, I just spent $15,000 on a decompression table, just spent $10,000 on a Lloyd high-low, just spent some money on a MyoVision. So I spent all this money on this additional equipment to my clinic, and I had 6 docs in this particular clinic, and I really didn't see any increase in revenue. And so even though it's kind of, now I look back at it was really not very smart on my part, but I decided not to bring the PMF in. But Jim and I kept touch base with everything, and then he rolled out this new technology and came to me with it. Well, from the time he initially contacted me with PMF till 6 months ago when he came to me with this new technology, I started to realize that we have got some major problems in this country. The reason that I was attracted to chiropractic is because I knew the medical model basically just treats symptoms. It's a disease management model. It's not really in a preventative model. It's not in a wellness model. But what's happened over the last several years is we have really painted ourselves into a corner financially as far as a country. We really literally are a nation at risk. If you think about it, back in 1950, the medical model, the healthcare model that we operated under was really an acute model. People would go see a doctor, they would get diagnosed, they would get treated, and then they would either get better or they would die. Well, that's the same exact model that we're operating today. And today we have chronic diseases. Today we have degenerative diseases that we're paying for years and years and years. In 1960, we spent 5.1% of our GDP on healthcare. In 2013, we spent 17.4%. I can't even find the figures for 2014, okay? But I know we're racing to 20% and beyond. And if we don't get this thing fixed, you know what? Even though we're healthcare professionals, we want people to help get them better and keep them better. We might not even have the financial resources to survive. So if we don't fix this, our kids are going to be at risk, and our kids' kids are going to be at risk. I mean, we got 100 million people right now who have chronic pain. We got 77 million people who are obese. We got 44 million people who have a sleeping disorder. We got 50 million people who have some sort of a Parkinson, dementia, some sort of a mental issues that we treat. We got these chronic challenges that we're dealing with, and we got to figure out how to fix them. So we got doctors, we got scientists who've all decided that they're going to attack this, and they want to figure out how to fix this system. It's broken. The healthcare system is broken. I mean, think how crazy this is. It doesn't even get engaged till after you get sick. I mean, we have to figure out a way to fix this, and you can't fix it, handling it the same way that was created with. So we can't expect the politicians to correct it. We can't expect the healthcare professionals who are entrenched into the system. We got to get outside that realm. So we decided, hey, listen, and again, not me. I mean, this is what these Jim and the scientists and the research guys who are doctors who are doing this say, hey, listen, let's start at the core. Let's get back to figuring out how we can fix this healthcare system. So all these docs, all these scientists have been doing research for years and years and years, working around the clock. And all of a sudden what happens is they said, well, hey, let's think outside the box. Let's just not go do what we've always done. So all of a sudden, what if we take quantum physics and we converge that with biology? What if we go off and look at cellular expression or gene expression at a cellular level? What if we look and see what the deficiencies are that our body is fighting with? Well, one of the things they came up with in their research was heat acclimation. And when Jim started explaining to me the power of heat acclimation, I got fired up, okay? Because what heat acclimation is fundamentally this, is when you increase the core temperature for short periods of time, you can dramatically affect the health of the body. So as Jim started explaining this to me, and he started saying, Jeff, this is so simple. And I think what happens a lot of times, guys, is that most people are trying to look for this complex answer to this problem. Genius is really nothing more than taking the complex and making it simple to understand. If we raise the core temperature of the body for short periods of time, raise the core, we can have dramatic health improvements to the populace and really save our country. That kind of paints the picture. That's why I got excited. I got excited about this because I look at this as the answer to what we need as a country. So not only are we healthcare professionals helping people get better and keep them better, we can actually save our country financially. That's my passion. That's what I see. And now I'm going to turn over to Jim, and Jim will kind of cover the science with you and show you exactly what the technology is and also what we've put together that you can take to your patients, that you can take to the marketplace that can help them get better, stay better, and also put some money in your pocket as well. So I'm going to turn it back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Jeff. And, I think that's one of the key things that we're always striving to do. We get people coming to us. I had 2 already this week from people that have the latest and greatest of technologies and the things that they can do to help people, and we've spent a lot of money on our end doing research on technologies that are coming in from all over the world, so that we can really take a look at what's going to help our doctors, what's going to help the professionals that we work with and we deal with, what's going to help them achieve the things that they need to achieve, helping their patients, and yet at the same time drive revenue so that they can be effective in their practice. We can't afford to lose any of you. And that's the biggest thing that we look at as we go along. So, I think one of the things that, of course, we talk about all the time is detoxification and the nutrition. How do we increase the nutritional uptake in the body? And you ask the question, why are we heating the core? We're heating the core because it refers to something called hypothermic conditioning. When you heat the core, hypothermic conditioning takes place. It forces the nutrition deeper into the cells. Goes hand in hand with what we're doing with PEMF. One of the other things that the hypothermic conditioning does so much is it stimulates and improves the central nervous system. And so many of the things that we have going on are relative to the gut, the brain, and the central nervous system. So we want to be able to stimulate it and improve it. But at the same time, we want to reduce the risk of diabetes. How do we do that? Through hypothermic conditioning, because we can reduce the blood sugar levels and we can increase the insulin sensitivity by up to 30%. Heating the core reduces blood pressure up to 15%. It has a positive effect on the hypertonic regulation troubles that everybody faces when they deal with blood pressure. We can improve the protein aggregation, and we can repair damaged proteins. One of the things you're going to see in this PowerPoint is the thing called BDNF. That's the brain-derived neurotrophic factors that are designed to protect against neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington disease, dementia, everything that's related to the brain. Why do we heat the core? Because it helps asthma, it helps with bronchitis, it helps with COPD. Why do we heat the core? Because it decreases cardiovascular disease up to 50%. That's a big statement. 50% sudden cardiac death, fatal coronary heart disease. If we can if we can decrease cardiovascular disease up to 50%, imagine what we can do to help people and turn their lives around. Why do we heat the core? Because we want to increase the growth of new brain cells. Neurotropic factors can be increased up to 300%. If we can increase the BDNA in the aging brain up to 300%, we in turn can help with things that have been caused through atrophy, where we can increase anorexia and get rid of bulimia. Why do we heat the core? Because we want to increase the norepinephrine by 300% and the prolactin levels by as much as 1,000%. It helps the brain function faster, it increases focus, and it increases attention. And I guarantee you, us young bucks no more have that focus that we used to have. Hypothermic conditioning stimulates heat shock proteins, which in turn helps to repair cancer-causing DNA mutations. Now, nobody's been exposed to cancer-causing DNA mutations, have you? But yet we deal with it every day. How do we minimize it and get rid of it? Hypothermic conditioning, because we have to increase the beta endorphins. Drug addictions, psychological dependence, all dealt with through hypothermic conditioning. Stress is a symptom in 74% of people. Hypothermic conditioning reduces stress, and it in turn allows the brain's neurotransmitters and endorphins to function better because we can increase the production. Heat increases flexibility by 205%. How can we do that? Because the warmer the muscles are, the warmer connective tissues and tendons are, the greater the range of motion, the increase in flexibility. Why do we heat the core? Because it increases the growth hormones up to 1,600%. That's huge. I talk to people every day that are saying, we have to increase our growth hormones. We have to increase the testosterone level. How do we do it? More stem cells. How do we do it? You know what? Heating the core increases growth hormones up to 16%. It increases lean muscle and body mass, and it decreases body fat. Why are we heating the core? Because it allows us to increase the delivery of nutrients and performance glycogen by up to 50% to the muscles. Hypothermic conditioning increases muscle regrowth by over 30%. How many people do we deal with every day that have muscle injuries, that have muscles that have atrophied? How many athletes do we see on a regular basis that need to recover? The body needs to respond. We need to regenerate the growth in muscles. But yet we're not getting it done. Why? Because we're not focusing on heating the core. We have 40 million Americans that suffer from over 70 different sleep orders. Hypothermic conditioning helps to improve sleep, which in turn repairs the fatigue that we're faced with. 37% of women and 35% of men are obese. 7 in 10 adults are overweight. Hypothermic conditioning helps in weight management. How? Because it allows for such a deep detoxification and a deep sweat in the body, if that's what you're looking for, to force the body through heating the core, go through this response to detox. Hyperthermic conditioning increases the BDNF factors. BDNF stimulates and reduces obesity and appetites. Hypothermic conditioning produces 180% greater weight loss and 460% greater body fat loss. Why does it do that? Because it gets to the center core. Hyperthermic conditioning, heating the core body temperature, regulates the body weight, which in turn is associated with weight management and obesity. Your body chemistry plays a key role in controlling the caloric uptake and the imbalances. If we can control thermogenesis, we can control the burning of fat and we can control the appetite. Why heat the core? Heat shock proteins extend the lifespan by up to 30%. Think about that. That's a huge statement. If we can heat the core, we can increase those heat shock proteins, we can increase the lifespan by up to 30%. How many people are dying too young, dying too early? The FOXO3 gene increases people's chance to live to 100 years of age by 270%. Why do we want to heat the core? You know, one of the things that we talk about, and we've all been exposed to, is these things called saunas. And a sauna, you go sit in it. What happens when you sit in it? You heat the body. Yeah, you heat the core, but you're also heating the head, and you're heating the hypothalamus gland. And when the hypothalamus gland gets overheated, you got to get out. When you're in a steam room and you're overheating the body, the hypothalamus gland gets overheated. The body has to get out. So what's the best way to achieve hyperthermic conditioning without forcing the body to get out or overheat? We have this thing called an infrared thermofusion pod. What's so important about that? Well, it's real simple. The pod that we've designed has a lot of neat features all rolled into one. We've incorporated a heat system, an infrared heat system, a thing called a pure jade mat, vibration massage, halotherapy with Himalayan salt stones, an ergonomic contour bed, aromatherapy, an enriched air system, ambient lights, a cool face air system. Why is that important? We're going to show you. In a very unique body chamber with the comfort contour mat. How did we do this? How did we incorporate it all together? Why did we do it? It's real simple. We want to heat the core through infrared heat. You can see a picture on the left of the lid, the upper lid of the infrared heat system. Picture on the right, you can see it on both sides. We have incorporated through this infrared what we call a near, mid, and far range infrared heat. Why did we do that? Because we want to be able to affect the body in 3 different levels and depths of penetration. We want cell health. We want to increase the cell immunities. We want wound healing. We want skin purification. We want to be able to provide pain relief, improve circulation, weight loss. We've added to that a dry heat system. What's cool about it is the dry heat system allows us to control the settings and the temperature up to 180 degrees. Now you think about that and you say, oh man, 180 degrees, that's a lot of heat. You know what? No, it's not when you work smart and you do it simple. How did we do it? Here's how we did it. We've added vibration massage. Vibration massage is done through an ergonomic contour bed. You can see the picture of it there. It allows us to massage the lower extremities, the upper extremities, or both of them at the same time. But here's what's cool about vibratory therapy. It reduces pain up to 70%. Now imagine what you can do with that when you've incorporated your PMF therapy mat on top of that at the same time. The results are huge. I had a guy the other day, I was treating a rotator injury. The doctors told him he had a tear in his rotator and his shoulder was killing him. I said, well, before I treat your shoulder, let's lay in the Cocoon on the mat for 30 minutes and see what happens. He got out and he goes, my gosh, my shoulder doesn't hurt. I said, yeah, but let's treat your shoulder now with the PMF and see what else it'll do. Here's the whole key to this thing, folks. You saw a picture of it when we started with the gal laying in the Cocoon and her head was outside of the chamber. Here's the key to it. We've added what we call a dual face air system. What that does is it keeps the head cool so the hypothalamus gland doesn't overheat. So it doesn't say to the body at 155 degrees, oh, you're overheated. The hypothalamus says to the body, oh, this is nice and relaxing, while the body's doing the rest of what it needs to do. We've added a pure jade mat with 96 smooth jade stones. Why did we do that? Because jade is a conductor of far infrared heat rays. So we're pulling it at a deeper tissue level through the body. These are the extra things that we just added and thought, you know what, while we're doing it, let's make it even better. We've added, for halotherapy, we've added a Himalayan salt stone. There are places around the country where you walk into rooms, you walk into caves that are nothing but massive rooms of Himalayan salt blocks so that you can breathe the Himalayan heat that's coming off of those salt stones. We've added an enriched air system with an aromatherapy pan where you can put in aromatherapy scents that pull it up into the nose and the face and the mouth so you can breathe it and get it into your lungs. On the right, you can see the ambient lights. This thing is very soft toned and very relaxing. The additional features that we brought with it is a contour comfort mat. That contour comfort mat, I put a guy in the chamber that was 6'5", and I thought he won't fit. I put that thing under his knees, and he laid in there because all I did was increase the angles of his knees, and he laid in there comfortably. Then I put a guy in that was 7 foot. He sat in there comfortably too. We've got a body chamber that's very unique with a headrest comfort pillow. We can adjust that head so we can put it at any angle to make it relaxing to the users. I treat people for 10 minutes with their clothes on, and the results that they get is unbelievable. They come out of there so relaxed, but yet when they get walking away and they have water and they're gone, an hour later they're calling me saying, I can't believe the energy I've got. The next day they're calling me telling me, I can't believe how great I slept last night. Oh, and by the way, my back pain is gone. This is just a quick look at the control panels. It's very easy to do. It's very simple for the user to be operating and control it themselves. But it's got an upper and lower vibration settings, an on-off switch, an infrared turn-on. You can set the temperature at what you want and the time you want to treat. And you've got a fan adjustment there knob that you can control, or the user themselves control how much cool air do they want on their head. I set the timer for people who want to use it with their clothes on for 125 degrees for 10 minutes. For people who really want to detox and want to sweat and want to burn the fat and lose the weight, I set it for 155 degrees for 20 minutes. Can you do 30? Absolutely. This is one of our add-on options. If you want to add on to the Cocoon oxygen therapy, it's designed and ready to go. You'll notice the picture on the right where the oxygen chamber is plugged in through the tube into that little port. When it's blowing cool air on the face, we can also blow additional oxygen. You can see the photo on the left. If you want to increase the oxygen uptake by having them breathe it through their nose and their mouth, you can do the very same thing. So this is an add-on option, but we made it available for those that maybe are using oxygen therapy right now in their practice. And if not, you want to get into it, it's very easy to do it. What's so important about oxygen therapy? Oxygen increases blood oxygen saturation, which oxidizes pathogens and boosts energy. We all know that a disease is anaerobic. What we want to do is decrease the demand on the immune system, and we want to facilitate the production of ATP. By doing that with oxygen therapy, we can allow the user to take advantage of all of these. Here's another one of our add-on options that's available: ozone therapy. When you're dealing with ozone therapy and you're doing it through an intravenous injection or as ozone drip, you've got to be doing it under the supervision, directly or indirectly, of a medical professional. With an ozone therapy, we've attached it to what we call an ozone body bag. And again, ozone is an add-on option. We're just making it available. Some people are already using ozone. We've got an ozone generator that's a dual controller. You simply plug the ozone tube into the port that's on the body bag, and you can lay in it for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes and get the ozone at the same time. You're getting the vibration, the infrared heat, and the PMF, and the oxygen if you so want to use all those therapies at one time. So it becomes an add-on option. Why is ozone important? You know, ozone is probably the most powerful natural oxidant in the world. It stimulates the immune system. It has a huge anti-infective and antiviral effect. It's non-toxic. It helps with all sorts of infections and viral infections. It works in a way to puncture the membrane, and we talk about the puncturing the membrane all the time, of penetrating the membrane to get the good in, the good out with the PMF. But if you can get into that membrane and get to the bacteria, it forces it to spill its contents and dies. It's also huge for viruses, and it's 10 times factor to get into the system. It'll do it 10 times faster. Again, another add-on option is PMF therapy. For those that have the PMF device, you can see how we simply lay the PMF mat right inside the Cocoon. I do it with the PMF mat. I put the jade mat on top, put them in, and away I go. 10-minute treatment with their clothes on is unbelievable. Do they sweat? No. Do they feel warm and relaxed? Absolutely. Why don't they sweat? Because those cool air fans are blowing cool air on the face, keeping the hypothalamus cool. You got a little sneak peek right now. A lot of people haven't commented about it, Jeff, in the past few webinars, but there's a sneak peek of our new machine that we're getting ready to introduce here in the next few weeks. That machine will sell for $69.95. Great machine for you to use in the office. It comes with 3 attachments. We'll be telling you more about that in the next 3 weeks. So we've got a lot of new things that we're going to be introducing. We're going to start doing webinars. We're recording these things. We're going to start getting into effective treatments for different types of disorders, and we'll be having a lot of the doctors on here doing the webinar talking about what they do that's so effective treating different types of conditions in their offices. So we're going to start recording these and making archives, and all designed for helping you as a practitioner be successful with more things that you can deal with in your practice as to how other people are doing it. If you want to be a speaker at any time, please feel free to email us, and that information will be at the end of this webinar. Contact us and let us know that you'd love to talk about some of the things that you do. One of the little tricks that we learned recently was from a doctor in Saudi Arabia. The doctor in Saudi Arabia was telling us about all the great effects he's having dealing with PTSD, depression, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, children that have autism, ADD, ADHD. What they do is they turn the mat sideways. They put the pillow, the head on a pillow, and then put the pillow on the mat. Not the body, just the head. And they're able to increase the intensity at a greater level by laying people on a pillow with their head on the mat, on the back of the head or on the side of the head, and they can increase intensity, and they're getting a faster effect on a 3 to 6 minute treatment on the head than they ever were doing with the double butterfly or the single loop. So again, we'll be talking about that here in the coming week or two. PMF therapy, what does it do? Well, a lot of you know what it does, but it shows dramatic improvement for neurological, physiological, and psychological benefits. It repairs damaged diseased tissues, reduces pain, inflammation, accelerates bone healing, assists in detoxification. I mean, the list goes on and on and on what PMF therapy does. But again, PMF therapy goes to the root core in the body at the cellular level. That's what we've done with heating the core with the Cocoon. But again, you can see the picture. Her head is outside of it. We have to keep the head cool. Basically, the Cocoon becomes our one stop with health and wellness, because you can apply other things to it and save yourself a ton of money. But at the same time, we want you to be profitable, and we want you to be successful with this. Hypothermic conditioning, heating the core, plus oxygen, plus ozone, plus PEMF. The results are huge, and what you can accomplish in 10 minutes will blow you away. What you can accomplish in 20 to 30 minutes will blow your patients away. Jeff, I want to roll it back over to you here for a little bit. I want you to talk about what we've tried to build into this for everybody, because, again, you know me. You guys have known me for years, some of you 7, 8 years. You know, one of the things that I always talk about is the 3 things that we want to do. We want to help you be more successful helping your patients. We want to help you be the most successful, and at the same time, our mission is to help you be as profitable as possible. We can't afford to lose you. And we tell a lot of people no with our technologies. It just doesn't fit into the business model that we're trying to achieve to help you help your patients the most, or your athletes, or the people that you deal with. So that's why we've come to heating the core through hypothermic conditioning. Jeff, let me roll it to you for a minute and go through the numbers with them.
You bet, Jim. Appreciate it very much. And like Jim just mentioned, guys, here, when you take hypothermic conditioning you add it with oxygen, ozone, and PMF, you actually have a one-stop shop for health and wellness. And this is what's in the Cocoon for Life. And we really, truly believe this can change people's lives. And then when you add in our marketing systems that we're rolling out, we believe we can create for you a steady flow of new patients into your office on a daily basis. And it will not be that difficult for you to achieve when you follow the simplicity of our model. We know that every market's a little bit different. You're going to find out the fees for this service for the pod only will range from $15 for 10 minutes up to $75 for 30 minutes. Everything's going to be relative based upon your market. We also know with less than 3-minute prep time between sessions, you should not have a problem averaging 15 sessions per day per pod. If you look at an average of $30 for a 20-minute session, you're looking at $450 a day with 20 work days in a month. You're looking at a $9,000 increase in revenue. And when the pod, and again, we're going to show you how you're going to be able to put the pods in your clinic for $300 a month. Well, that's a pretty good return. A $300 a month investment for a $9,000 a month return, and that's per one pod. And I really, truly believe that as you start seeing how this can penetrate and dominate the marketplace, you're going to want to have more than 1, 2, 3 pods. In fact, we actually have a 6-pod spa platform that we're rolling out and working on. This slide right now, guys, kind of gives you a little example of what's possible. And this is based upon 15 sessions per day, 15 20-minute sessions per day, and it's figured at a $30 pod cost per session. And this is also figured, hey, listen, let's say you add one additional therapy, it's going to cost you $50. If you add 2 additional therapies, it's $65. And if you add 3 additional therapies, in other words, you get oxygen, ozone, and PMF, you get all 3, then it's $75 for that 20-minute session. If you just do, the pod and the PMF, then it's $50. If you do the pod, PMF, and let's say ozone, it's $65. So again, you can price this however you want. This is just some examples of some pricing so we can give you some numbers. But if you run out 15 sessions a day, figuring, hey, you're doing 9 pods only sessions, 3 of them with 1 therapy, 2 sessions with 2, and 1 with all 3. That's going to put $12,500 in your pocket every month. And that works out to be $150,000 a year per pod. Our strategy is to help people get better and keep them better. But at the same time, we want to help our practitioners increase, their revenue per clinic. This therapy, is not attended. It's unattended therapy. You don't have to be involved as a practitioner in providing this service to your patients. So this is an additional income stream that's made available to you. Now, you have 2 different options to purchase the product. Our simplest option is we have a $300 a month lease. At the end of the presentation, we'll give you a chance to contact us, and we'll sit down with you and take the steps to get you qualified. This thing will cash flow from day one because it won't cost you any money out of your pocket. Even if the leasing company requires you to pay your first month lease up front, we'll rebate that back to you. So this is no money out of your pocket whatsoever. And it's $300 a month. We'll get it to you. If you do want to buy it, cash out up front, you can get it for $89.95. Now, that $1,000 savings is a limited savings. We will not keep offering that particular price for a long period of time. So you can either buy it for $300 a month, or you can buy a cash out for basically $9,000. And then what you want to do, and I'm going to kind of let Jim kind of finish up. But here's the information to call us or to get a hold of our office. But I'm going to let you kind of finish up, Jim, so you can kind of let them know who they want to get a hold of and what steps they got to go through to make sure they get this into their clinic.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. And we've got different folks around the country. I mean, a lot of you have worked with Chris. A lot of you have worked with Andrew. You've been working with me. You've got different people around the country you've worked with. That's the number to the corporate office. If we are not in the office, that forwards over to my cell phone. It may, from one day to the next, hit to Andrew or Chris, but we have somebody available at that line all the time. The email address is info@pulseforlife.com or info@cocoonforlife.com. You can drop us an email and reach us there. The thing that I really want to emphasize with this is what we've tried to do with technologies to make this thing so simple. I am totally blown away on people that sit in this thing for 10 minutes and get up and go, oh my God, what did you just do to me? This is unbelievable. I had a gal come in from Salt Lake City, came into Sioux City, Iowa on Sunday afternoon. They were going up to a resort area here by me. She's got 2 ruptured discs, and she's in tremendous pain, 26 years old, and her dad's looking at buying her a machine. So I said, well, let's go in and put you on the mat and sit you in the cocoon for 10 minutes. Just leave your clothes on. Let's go lay down. She got out and she goes, oh my gosh, I don't hurt. So then she said, well, can I lay on this on my hip? I said, sure. Let's just take the mat out of the PMF mat out of the cocoon and lay it on the table and just lay on your side. She lay on the side. She told her dad, she goes, this is unbelievable. So we've got one of our doctors is up in the resort area where they are. She went up yesterday and got another treatment on her back and told her dad, she goes, this thing is absolutely unbelievable. We had one of our doctors the other day called us. We've been talking on and off, him and I, for about the past 3.5 months. He had a friend of his, fell, broke his neck. But the doctors everywhere have told him he'll never walk again. So the doctor's been going in and treating him with this PMF machine like crazy. The other day, he called me. He said, Jim, you won't believe what happened. But he said he's up walking in a walker. The doctors are blown away. They said this guy's a miracle guy. You know what he's doing? He's treating him with PMF, folks. That's all he's doing. He doesn't have the cocoon yet. He said to me, can you imagine what I'm going to be able to do with this guy now with the PMF and the cocoon too? I have people with military veterans, 40 years, bad backs, get out of this darn thing after 10 minutes and bend over and touch their toes and tell me, oh my God, what did you just do? You know, what the results, the studies that we've got for fibromyalgia, for workman's comp people in pain that can't go to work because of pain, the results and how fast they've been able to get back to work, blown away. We've got studies coming up the yin yang. We're happy to send them to you if you want them. The bottom line is producing results. What can you do to help people get better that's going to help you be more effective in what you're doing? We've tried to keep the thing real simple with the vibration, the infrared heat, the 3 different depths of that, with the little extra add-on things that we could do. But bottom line is keep the head cool. I have a infrared system here in my house. It takes me 20 minutes for that thing to warm up to 145 degrees, but I can only take it for so long and I got to get out. Why? Because my hypothalamus is overheating, telling me get out. When I get into the cocoon, it takes me less than 2 minutes for this thing to hit 155 degrees. Less than 2 minutes. I sit in there in my bathing suit and work up a sweat that's just phenomenal in a detox bag. And my detox bag collects all the crud that comes out of me. I have women that sit in this darn thing and sweat, and they tell me, oh, I never sweat. I can't sweat. You can't. This won't make me sweat. In 20 minutes, they're soaking wet. And they feel their arms and their chest and their stomach and their legs, and they go, feel this. This is slimy. Why is it slimy? Because the sweat is a deep tissue detox sweat. It's just not water. You're going so deep with this infrared that the detox is unbelievable. And what do we do when we get them out? We get them drinking water right away. But think about all the nutrition that people are taking. Think about all the great products that are on the market. You know, we have a lot of phenomenal doctors that are part of our network and our program. And we have so many. I mean, I could go on and talk about them. We've got doctors, folks, all over the world that have been working with us on PMF therapy, doing phenomenal things with nutritional products, with silver, with zeolite, with vitamin C's, and the list goes on and on and on. You know what? We've just now taken those products that people are going to take and have been taken. We've just now driven them deeper into the cells of the body to make them even more effective. How can we help people get better? That's our focus. So I want to thank you very much for being with us. This call has been recorded. We will email it to you so that you can get in and listen to it again. But we encourage you. Get a cocoon. Put it to work for you. Something I promise you're not going to regret. God bless you. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for being with us, and I look forward to seeing you again so very, very soon. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your summer. We will be here next week, next Monday night. We're going to be talking about some great things again.